2025. Hope you're well. I've just sat here in the garden. We're having some work done on the house today, and been up for hours. Been up for hours dealing with 100 different people coming to the front door, deliveries, workmen, postmen, supermarket delivery. I've been up since like 7 o'clock. Walked the dogs early before it got too hot. It's roasting here in the middle of a little heat wave here in the UK, so it's all good. Hope you're well. We've got a very nice Fender FSR 70s Precision here, keep me company. I use this as a backup bass on the Queen tribute shows I do. I don't play it all that often because it doesn't suit everything I do, but for that gig it's perfect. Just sit a bit more side on so you can see a bit more of the bass. It's all good. So just waiting for work to complete and stuff, so I thought I'd check in with the YouTube community. Hope you're all good. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you if you were on the live chat on Tuesday night. We had a blast. 3.5 hours talking about Mark King and level 42. So if you got involved, came on screen, entered into the text chat, thank you very much. If you watched it, left a comment or a thumbs up, fabulous, thank you. It all helps the channel, helps me, helps the video do well within the algorithm, so it's all good. Not plugged in, so you can't really hear it. It's just strings against frets, you know, but it's all good. What have we got coming up this week? So I'm going to try and get some long form content up on the channel. The past couple of days have been a bit disruptive. You can't see, but basically I'll show you. We've had to empty half the contents of our loft in order for the gents to get up there to replace the windows that are being done today. And my office is an absolute pigsty full of container tubs full of all sorts of things, bass magazines, stuff from my childhood, stuff from my school days. A load of my bass cases over there. We had to make rooms. We've got 2 windows in the loft, one at each end, on opposite. It's not even a word, is it? Opposite ends of the loft space. So we had to bring all that stuff down. There wasn't any room left in my office, so I had to come out here. So sitting there producing long form content when I can't get to my desktop. I hate doing it on a laptop. It's just too small and fiddly. But anyway, enough of me moaning. Let's see who's out and about, shall we? All right. Get all the messages. Lauren Quintana, hello, good to see you. Yeah, it is a lovely afternoon. Welcome to my garden. It's all good. There's Stacy from North Carolina. Good morning from the sunny US. Very good. If you want to talk bass, more than happy to. It's what we're here for. It's what the channel's all about. Bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, great bass players, great albums with great bass playing on. You want to talk about any of that? Feel free. If you want to carry on the live chat from Tuesday, we were talking about Mark King level 42. Very happy to do that. I've been editing up a load of remix shorts from that live chat this morning. You'll see them on the channel. You'll see them in your shorts feed if that's your thing. And yeah, we had a blinding live chat Tuesday, I have to say. Well done, guys, that came on the screen by video. Those who contributed by text, all very good. So how's everyone out there? Hope you're all doing good. I hope wherever you are in the world it's nice and sunny. A lot of crap going on in the world at the moment, so take what wins and happiness you can get, you know. So this weekend, just a one show for me. On Saturday we've got a wedding with Uncle Funk's Disco Inferno up in Cambridgeshire. Next week got 2 Queen tribute shows, Friday and Saturday. One in Oxford, one in High Wycombe, so very nice and local for me. Not too bad. Lauren, level 42 has been with me year by year since the 80s. Likewise, you're turning 50 next year. Congratulations. I've already passed that milestone. always the band I come back to. Fabulous. They're very good. They had a huge resurgence, you know. At one point they stopped, Mark came back, bit of a, not him, not the band, but the perceived as a bit of a busted flush, and then slowly but surely he's built that brand back up. Got to think of it as a brand now. It's a legacy band, you know. And what are you leaving as your legacy? And they've probably never been bigger. The last tour they did at the end of 2023 was huge. Did good numbers, solid, sold out shows most of the way through the tour. And now we've got the World Machine 40th anniversary tour coming up in November. What am I talking about? September and October here in the UK. So it should be great. Family Stars, let's play. It's getting a little boring. No. We can play, I can play, but I'm not going to play songs you know, because I'll get copyright strikes and copyright claims. And having spent nearly 5 years building up a channel, I'm not going to lose it for a couple of play along videos, that's for sure. I've had a few people seen videos of me playing, or I get it at gigs as well, and they ask me why I put my fingers or hands over the top playing harmonics. I don't always. Sometimes I'll do it just with my fingers where they would be, but sometimes you can create a bar of harmonics by putting your finger over the top, and it works. Also, you've got a little bit of cramp in your wrist, but it's a great way to relieve it. So if you're playing regular style, it works. Pinched harmonics, I get asked that as well. Got it off Billy Sheehan 35 years ago. So basically fret a note as you wish, and then there are different ways of playing harmonics. People do it differently. I just followed what Billy Sheehan did. So basically put your thumb on the string. See if I do it closer up there, you can see it, right? And then use that as your note plucking finger. The thumb stays on it. You won't be able to hear it, but great, because we're not plugged in. But I can get a screaming harmonic out of it. It's what Jacko used to do, but there's different ways of doing it. You can play it with your third finger if you want, or your middle finger, but I always just do it with my thumb, first finger. So it's not like just going, which is a note. You actually create a false harmonic, so it's like it's screaming. And when you do that volume, especially you got a bit of distortion, a bit of fuzz, it really stands out. And you can play notes of a passage like you would regularly play. You just makes it scream. You might be picking that up, or you might not, I don't know. Lauren, I'll be in Barcelona in less than a month. I also have two. You posted up on here earlier. Yeah. My suggestion, and I think you already did it, was you post it on the Ultimate 42 Facebook page. What you might find, when's that? Less than a month. You may find you don't really get any replies to that until like a week before, and then once people know if they can go or not, then you'll get a reply probably. Stacey, where are you? Lauren, I didn't become aware level 42 in the States of something about you in 85. Steve Brown, Leave Me Now is your favorite level 42 song. Oh, crikey. Yes, classic tune. Lauren, you're in the south of France, 1 hour drive from Barcelona. Okay. I've played in Nice many times. Spent weeks at Chez Wayne. It's just called Wayne's now, but first played there in 1995, 30 years ago. Last time I was there was 2017. Always had a good time there. Hang on, scrolling these messages up. Never met the guys. Okay, I promised myself I will get a Star Child bass one day. Came close last summer. Yeah, they do come up occasionally second hand. If you're going for a new one at the moment, just to give you a heads up, a Star Child from JD, you're going to wait 4 years. If you pay for an order, you're going to wait 4 years. So you're probably going to want to get a second-hand one. Although the only real thing with the Star Child bass that makes it any different from any other JD are the Star Child inlays. Other than that, it's the same bass. Here we go. Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I've met Mark multiple times. We converse on WhatsApp occasionally. I know Nathan. I know the drum tech. The drum tech used to play drums for me in my band, so that's all good. So like I say, this is a Fender FSR Mexican 70s precision. I use this as the backup bass in the Queen tributes that I play with. Sounds unlike any other precision I've got. Very different, very guttural, heavily figured ash body, which looks great in the sun, I have to say. And then the guy I bought this off swapped the plate. It had like a standard black plate, and he put on this really nice red tortoiseshell plate. Gary, thank you very much. And I bought it off him as we came out of lockdown in 2021. He sold the bass to me, and then I had to say, you've let a cracker go there, because it's an amazing sounding bass. Even for a Mexican precision, it's fab. But very different to any other precision I've got. Quite a thick, rounded neck, but the pickup is outstanding. The whole thing, it's got a real mid sort of gnarliness to it, which you can't hear because I'm not plugged in. But if I lined up all my precisions and plugged this one in, you'd go, oh my god, that's a very different sounding bass. Just the way it is. You also have a precision style bass. This is your main bass. Cool. If you've not seen much here on the channel, I've got a fairly substantial collection. So generally I'm not a huge fan of precisions. I think they record well. I don't particularly like using them live. I think they're way too limiting. But for Queen shows, it's what you've got to use. It's what Deacon used, and it's what fits those songs and the look and the visual. But generally I take out active basses and much better instruments than a Fender P. And I know some people go, you can't say that Fender P is the greatest. No, it's not. It's the bass that's been around the longest, pretty much, in terms of electric solid body basses. And our ears have become accustomed to hearing it on records and stuff in the hit parade, so you know those sounds, but they're not the greatest basses ever made. They're legendary basses. Without them, there wouldn't be the whole music scene as we know it, but that doesn't mean it's the best bass. Steve Brown, do I like music by In Excess? I love In Excess, always did. I discovered them when Kick I remember hearing about them because they were one of John Taylor's favorite bands in the like 84, 85. And and I remember them supporting Queen at Wembley and some of their European dates in 86. And I always think it's funny that they got bottled off the stage playing for Queen at Wembley and various other UK dates, and yet within 5 years they headlined their own show at Wembley Stadium. Have I seen the 91 concert? Many times. I've got the DVD. I didn't go, and I wanted to go because one of my favourite bands, Roachford, were on the running order. But there was about 6 bands on that day, and the rest of it didn't really. Jellyfish were on first. Now, had I known who they were at the time, I would have probably gone for them and Roachford and In Excess. But Jesus Jones were on the bill, not my thing. Hot House Flowers, not my thing. Debbie Harry was on. She did a good set. I actually was at home. I was at home recording it, because it used to be, when that happened in July 91, on a Saturday I'd be at Sainsbury's supermarket, which was my job Fridays and Saturdays while I was at college, A-level college, earning some money to buy nice basses, of course. And that was the one Saturday I had in a very long period where I wasn't there on the day, but I was at work on the night shift, so I didn't go in till like 10 o'clock at night. So I was able to stay at home and listen to that show, and I recorded Roachford and In Excess. I got them on cassette. The Roachford part of the show I've listened to my recording of that, and I've got a CD of it now, probably 1,000 times. One of Roachford's best performances, just amazing, and the crowd were totally up for their set. So yeah, but I'm a big fan of In Excess, always have been. Darrow, good morning, sir. Afternoon for us here in London. What would be the 5 things a new bassist should learn to get to grips with? Should learn to grip with a great sound. Technique goes without saying. Your playing technique. But you will only build that over time. You can't have that as an instant thing. So for someone starting up from scratch, you need to learn how active EQ works on a bass, how to get tones out of a bass. Your bass doesn't have one sound, it has many different sounds. So you have to learn how the volume controls, tone controls, if it's a passive bass, the passive tone control, how all those things work. And your instrument has a palette of colors, tonal colors. You have to know how the controls affect all of that, but also where you play on the string. So I see, or I've known many people when they start out and they'll just put the thumb on the pickup and that's where they play. Now if you play the string, so if let's just pick a note, A, okay? So if I play that note there, it's got a particular tone. Obviously I'm not plugged in, but you'll get the drift. If I play it here nearer the neck, you don't get all the clatter and you get a far mellower sound. As you then move along the string towards the pickup, it starts to brighten up and get more mids. And as you then move towards the bridge on a bass, it gets more twangy. The string gets stiffer, like there's opposition to your finger playing. You get a tighter tone. So if you're playing like reggae, old school soul, thing with a bit of meat, you want to be playing in that section. Yeah, you want something with a bit more tightness, a bit more twang, a sort of more of a mid bounce. You're going to play nearer the bridge. I play with a floating thumb technique, so I don't anchor it anywhere. I'll move. Yeah, and my thumb doesn't actually have to be anchored to anything. If I have a 2 pickup bass, then I'll be running between the whole length there. And there's nothing to stop you doing that. It just means you've got more tones to your armory, if that makes sense. So learn those things. Learn all the different sounds out of your instrument. Spend some time, and it's not cheap when you start out, trying to work out which strings suit your bass and the tones and the bass sound you want. When you start out, you think there's one string and that's no. So you have different brands. You got different gauges, which are the sizes of the strings. You got different materials: steel, nickel, tape wound, phosphor bronze for acoustic basses. You then got the different windings, so round wounds if you want bright, sharp, harsh, in-your-face tones. You've got half wounds, which are halfway between a round wound and a flat wound. You've then got flat wounds. Anyone who likes Bernard Edwards, a lot of 60s rock, 70s rock, some bands now, I mean, flat wounds have made a huge comeback. Very different tone, different feel. The way they perform is different. So you have to learn all these things. It's very hard when you start. Probably haven't got loads of money to know the differences. I'm going to do a video on this at some point. There's loads of them on YouTube, but they're a bit scattergunned in how they discuss it all, so I'll do that. That's another thing. Learn how to tune your bass. Loads of bass players don't know how to do it. They buy a clip-on tuner and think that's it. It's not always. So learn how to tune. Learn how to tune with harmonics on open strings. That's a good point to always learn. Put your best foot forward. Prepare for any gig or any performance, and you can never do too much prep. All right, you can never do too much prep. I've seen people go, oh, if I overdo it, then I lose the excitement from my performance. No, you don't. You just gain more confidence in knowing the material and what you've got to do and how to play. And another thing, and I've battered on about this on live chats recently. I put it in a video I did a couple of months back where I said 5 things I wish I'd known 30 years ago when I turned professional. Learn how to do backing vocals and do harmonies. if you want to be in a band or do this for a living. If you can just play at home along to records, that's fine. But if you want to be employable and you want to play in bands and you want to make yourself employable, Stacey Ann, thank you very much for the super chat there. Thank you. Stacey's just donated $4.99 to the channel, which keeps us up and running. Thank you very much. Bless you. And I'll say I don't ask for subscribers, but if people want to subscribe to the channel, you're more than welcome. Please feel free to do so. Biggest thing you can do for me, the channel, this video, all the videos on the channel, give them a thumbs up. Makes a huge difference to how the algorithm sees the video. It then pumps it out to more bass players. We get more bass players getting involved in the live chats and the content. We have more information and knowledge to pass around. So if you can give the video a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. But learn backing vocals. I didn't know when I first became a pro how important it was. And it wasn't till I was in a band with one of my singing heroes. And I said to him, how are we going to, what do I do? How do I learn how to harmonize? How do I learn how to do BVs properly, not just singing in unison? And I said this on the live chat the other week, and I said it on the video on the channel. His advice to me was, go and buy the back catalogue. Give Stacey's super chat a thumbs up. Thank you very much, my dear. Go and buy the back catalogue of the Eagles, because everything you need to be able to sing harmony as a male singer in a band of male singers is all there. You can hear it all. You can hear all those different harmonies, how they all intertwine, move together. Things like Queen, a lot of melodic rock, there's loads of layered harmonies, multi-layer, and you can't always pick stuff out. You have to find like an easy route through. With the Eagles, it's 5 guys, 4 at the start, and they found a way of harmonizing that they could completely replicate when they came to live performance. So as a bass player, whether you're starting out, you might be in your 50s, 60s, 20s, teens, whatever. If you're going to go and play music with other people, if you're going to do it to earn a living, make money, learn to harmonize and be able to do BVs, because I can tell you now, it makes you so much more employable. It really does. So I hope some of those things are useful pointers for you. If you want to come back on any of the points I've raised, feel free. Stacey, yes, In Excess. When I found out Daryl Hall sung backup on Original Sin, I began listening for Michael Hutchins' vocal tinges in Hall & Oates songs. Yes. Yeah. Google account. What's this? That'll be someone with a daft account. Then what do you think of Chris Squire? I love Chris Squire. I love Yes. I'm not a huge fan of Rickenbacker basses. Some of my bass heroes were the Rickenbacker gods. Not for me. I'm not a huge fan of Rickenbacker basses, but Chris Squire, love him. Met him, interviewed him. I got the luxury of meeting him a year before he died. In 2014, he was doing a day of press and promo for the Heaven and Earth album, and I did the first interview that day. And he was very wary, as he would. He's done a million interviews, and he realised within about 10 minutes that A, I was a Queen fan, Yes fan. B, I was a huge Chris Squire fan. I'd done my research, I knew my history, and he was like, "Oh, I don't need to explain all these things to you, do I?" I went, "No." I know the albums, I know the tours, I know the band breaking up and splitting up and argument. I said, I'll just fire the questions at you, you give me your response. And he went, "Oh, this can be nice and easy." By that time, he'd had 2 very large glasses of white wine and he started to warm up. So I love Chris Squire. I love his singing. I love the way he basically was the pivot for that band. Everything else was built around Chris and his playing and his singing. So if you're looking for a Chris Squire fan, you found it. All right. RAJ, good to see you. Welcome. Darrow, thank you for sharing. Mate, anything I can give you, knowledge, pointers, guidance. I've done this for 30 years. Last week was 30 years since I turned professional as a musician and a bass player. So anything I can pass along. If you think there's something up here that you might find useful or need to know, ask. And feel free to come on the live chats every Tuesday from 8 p.m. UK time. If I can offer any insight, that's what I'm here for. It's what the channel's about. Earlier this year, we lost a bass player here in the UK, died very unexpectedly, 2 years older than me. And he had so much bass knowledge, but he never wrote any of it down. He knew, I used to go to him for hardware pointers, hardware info, gear stuff, and he didn't write any of it down. All we've got left is his Facebook page. And although he did loads of playing videos, he didn't do a lot of chat videos. And I miss him for that. So I'm trying to make a concerted effort to fill my channel with as much bass info and knowledge as I can, because one day I won't be here, and I haven't got any kids to pass it on to, so it might as well go out to you guys on YouTube land. And if you can take any nuggets that I've learned over the years, over the decades, and make it improve your playing when you're doing gigs, how to get gigs, get auditions, all of that, that's what I'm here for. Lauren Quintana, I still own an old Washburn Status Series 1000. Any thoughts on that bass? Yes. So they've very much gone up in price. Very much gone up in price since Status announced their semi-retirement. But they aren't a Status bass. They're a Washburn bass made out of wood with a phenolic fingerboard, Status pickups, Status circuitry, simplified Status circuitry, and Status hardware, bridge and headstock piece. A very good alternative to a Status if you can't afford it, but it won't sound like a Status. It has elements of it, but it doesn't have the sound of a graphite neck or a proper Status circuit. So very good bass, well worth keeping hold of, because they're going to go up in price. But if you wanted to get a real Status, you could cash that Washburn Status in, trade it up, and get a second-hand Status, and you'll hear the difference immediately. Feel free to check out some of my videos here on the channel. There's a whole Status playlist. So if you go into the channel, go into the front page, go to the playlist section and search. If you scroll along, you'll see the Status graphite playlist. Loads of reviews, loads of demos, loads of chat about Statuses. It's all there for you to enjoy. Steve Brown, thank you for your information about In Excess. Very much appreciated. Fun fact, In Excess 91 Wembley gig was exactly 5 years. It was exactly that weekend. The Queen Wembley shows were the 12th and 13th of, or 11th and 12th. 11th and 12th, I think, of July, 86. And In Excess, I think, was the 15th of July, 91. So it's 5 years. Amazing how they turned things around, but Kick did it all. And I remember when Kick came out, because my cousins were big In Excess fans, and they bought Kick November 87, and I remember them playing it to me over and over again on Christmas Day 87, and I thought, I really like this. But they weren't a big band. They were doing like Hammersmith Odeon, and they had good audience and stuff. But then they came back and did, I think, a couple of nights at Wembley Arena in 88, sold them out, by which point they were then becoming a proper arena band, stadiums in America, and their whole profile just jumped through 88 and 89. And actually the Kick promotion, I think, took like 3 years. It took them ages to be able to get back into the studio to record X. But yeah, they were such a big band. I remember being at A-level college, everyone had In Excess t-shirts on all the time. But they were a huge band, huge band. And then musical trends changed. Grunge came in. They took a little too long doing their 1992 album, and again the musical landscape had changed, and they weren't fashionable anymore, and the people that had loved them had moved on to grunge and Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and they just completely lost their way. Not their fault, it's just many a band has fallen foul of it. You know, musical fans can shift, and sometimes very hard to maintain that following. But yeah, what a band, what a band. Steve, Queen gig, obviously Wembley as well. Yes, indeed. I'm a huge Queen fan, so. Stacy, thinking about the layering of sound, some of the best breakdown and weaving of it can be found on Duran Duran 12-inch singles. Very much so. Is there something I should know? A New Moon on Monday come to mind. Totally. Colin Thurston, obviously, for Is There Something I Should Know, and Alex Sadkin for New Moon on Monday. But yeah, so all that Duran stuff, 83, 84, kind of got really layered, which was great. You know, I'm a big fan of that. The night versions as well. Yes, absolutely. Let me just check all the messages are coming through. I think so. Looks like it. Yeah, good. So like I say, if you can give the video a thumbs up, that'd be fabulous. It just helps the video, helps the channel, helps me, makes the algorithm think, oh, they're enjoying this, and it puts the video out in front of more and more people. So yeah, very nice Fender FSR 70s Precision, made in Mexico. Fairly simple, nothing particularly complicated going on, but it sounds fab. If I was doing a In Excess tribute, this would be coming out, I can assure you. A very ballsy Precision, this one. Stacey, to your point, music is constantly carving a new space for itself. Correct. Lauren, got to go back to work. Thanks again. Have a nice day. Thank you for coming on. Anytime. If you want to join in the live chats on Tuesdays from 8, feel free. If you can find some content on the channel you enjoy, fabulous. There's a couple of interviews with Mark King if you want to check them out. It's blazing here. We've got a bit of a mini heat wave coming here in the UK. It's going up to 31 degrees tomorrow. Doesn't happen very often, I can assure you. Got any questions, bass questions, guitars, amps, effects, techniques? Any advice if anyone's looking to buy a bass, don't know what to buy, maybe got some money in your pocket and you think, I really want to buy a new bass, but I don't know what to buy? Ask me. If I can help, I will. I spent 18 years writing for Bass Guitar Magazine and Bass Player Magazine. If I can help, that's what I'm here for. You'll remember, you are welcome in the south of France. Thank you very much. Always had a good time in the south of France. Good food, good wine, great nights out. I've been very drunk in many south of France pubs, I can tell you. You raise a glass of Gigondas to you, Lauren, sorry. 11th of July, level 42 concert, and July 19th, your wedding. It is up to you. Enjoy the level 42 concert, and best regards for your wedding. Hope you're having a good time. Bamesh Rawal, you are having best times of your life. Yeah, I am, not too bad. Wish I could jam along with my guitar. Yeah, it's a bit hard. That needs technical equipment. It's all in there. Someone asked me, where's the amplification? That's all in my office and garage. This is just an impromptu live chat. I was killing time. We've got workmen replacing windows in our loft space today, and we've had lots of people delivering stuff to the house. So I'm sat in the kitchen. I thought I could do a live chat. So that's what we're doing. And I want to get out, soak up a few rays, you know. Oh, hang on. Bass at Night, good to see you. Am I the only bass player who's not a level 42 fan? No, there's many. There's many. If you want to talk about a different topic, feel free. What bands do you like? What bass players do you like? What bass do you play? What gear have you got? Lauren, thanks. Level 42 fans always the best and warm-hearted ones. Queen fans are very much like that too. Duran Duran fans are pretty much like that as well. Thanks for clarifying. Sounds cool stuff. It's okay. This is an impromptu live chat. We have a regular live chat here on Brooks's Bass Corner every Tuesday from 8 o'clock UK time. And if you want to come on Talk Bass, we've got a whole community of people, a whole load of professional bass players come on. We talk the hind legs off a donkey and talk about gear and gigs and everything else. So if you want to tune in for those on Tuesdays, feel free. They're all available on the channel. So Tuesday night's one is there. It's all 3.5 hours of it. If you want to watch it and think I haven't got 3.5 hours, put it on double speed. You can still hear what we say, but it goes along at twice as fast. Do I listen to Porcupine Tree? I don't, although I do like a bit of prog. But I know who they are. We featured them a lot in the magazine, so I know the guys who've played in that. You've subscribed, thank you very much. Bless you. If you give the video a thumbs up, that'd be absolutely fabulous. Thumbs up actually works for the channel better than subscribes. But if you wish to subscribe, that's fabulous, and you'll get notified every time I put up a video or community post. Hope some of you might have enjoyed the Billy Sheehan shorts, which were taken from an interview I did with him back in 2021. So past few days it's been Depp shorts, Billy Sheehan shorts, and today we've moved on to stuff from Tuesday night's live chat talking about Mark King and Level 42. You double tapped, bless you. Well done, sir. Thank you. Ken Lewis, what's your thoughts on the Fender Player 2 Precision? Yeah, they're good. It's hard to keep up with all the Fender stuff because they just keep coming out with a new range every 3 to 4 months. I haven't played one, so I don't know what the audio's like. So unless you go into a store and compare and contrast, you're going to need to probably check a couple of YouTube videos where people are comparing the sounds. I can't imagine it's going to be that bad. The Player series is a cheaper range, but this bass was cheap. These weren't expensive when they came out. They're about £700, and this sounds like unlike any other Precision I've got in my collection. I've got 4, and this is number 5, and it's totally different. So my thing, I've reiterated this every live chat, and people ask about gear. You have to go and play it. Buying stuff blind online it's a thing, but you've got to expect to be disappointed. Every bass sounds different. Always take every single bass on its merits. So you can go into a bass store and they might have a Fender Player 2 Precision. If they've got 5 of them, play all 5, because I can guarantee you they're not going to sound the same, they're not going to play the same, they're not going to feel the same. Where I used to do reviews, if I went into like a PMT before they closed down, you could go in there and they would have literally every model from most ranges, from Ibanez, Yamaha, Fender, and you could try all the different colors, all the different fingerboards, whatever, and invariably there'd be great ones, some all right ones, and a couple that were absolute dogs. And that's the way you've got to do it. But it's hard. There's so few stores left, certainly here in the UK, that carry full ranges of gear. But I would honestly say buying blind is a thing, and it obviously has been for about 20-25 years, but don't be surprised if you're disappointed. So now I don't tend to buy basses that I can't actually go and try, and if I win something on eBay, I'll arrange a meet with the buyer. They're not sending it to me. I'll go and meet them, and when I try it, I go to buy it. If it's not what it was advertised to be, or it's got problems or damage, I won't buy it. I'll back out of it. I just don't need the no, I don't need to watch the sun on the neck. It's fine. It's fine. I know how to fix these things, so it's all good. Don't worry. Hang on, I'll go back. So yes, so regarding that Fender, if you can, go and try one. Otherwise you're going to need to rely on YouTube videos for comparisons, which is no bad thing. But you got to remember, when you're watching a bass video on YouTube, even if it's been recorded through an audio interface, it's compressed once when the video is rendered at the creator's machine, when they're rendering it on the software. It's then compressed again when it gets uploaded to YouTube. So any of my videos on my channel, those demos and reviews have all been compressed twice before you even hear it. So it's not a proper first world experience, if you know what I mean. Bass at night, watch the sun on. Oh yeah, we're fine, don't worry, I'm undercover here, don't worry. Which one is your favorite bass that I frequently use in gigs? So my red Status Graphite Empathy, my GB Rumors, which I have 3 of, but the 2 4-strings, Alembics, I've got 3 of those, a couple of Spectres. I do so much different work that I pick and choose the bass depending on what the project or the band is. But my favorite bass, which I know if I take it to a gig, it's not going to give me any issues, and sonically it will fit in everything, is my Status Empathy. I've never done a gig where that hasn't, I call it a tonal battering ram. It will cut through any band mix. and it sounds big, fat, hefty. If I want it to sound all slappy and poppy, I can do that, but it does everything. And it's got a graphite neck, so whether I'm in 49-degree heat in the Middle East or whether I'm playing in sub-zero temperatures in Russia, that bass never, the neck never moves, so it's great. Matt Caffell, good to see you. How's life in the sunny south? Sunny. That's what it is. It's good. I've spent all winter waiting for days like this, so it's all good. My garden, by the way. Yeah, all good. I hope you're well, Matt. Let me know if you're coming to that Uncle Funk show in Cheltenham next month. We'll be there. Well, actually, I don't know what time we're meant to be getting there. Sometimes on these festivals, they try to stagger the bands arriving so they don't all take up the parking space and what have you. But I'll let you know once I know what the arrival times are. Ken, I think it feels better than the American Pro. If it feels better to you and you think it sounds better, go for it. But like some of my basses, some of my Mexican basses play better, sound better than American Fender alternatives. A bass is a bass, and like I say, take each bass on its merits. How many times have we seen and heard bass players and guitarists say they prefer a particular Squier model they've got compared to their American sibling, you know? So it's what works for you, what fits your hand, what responds, what speaks to you when you're playing it. So bass at night, did you ever have any lessons? I had 3 when I first started in 1987 when I was at school, just learning the basics, and my English teacher after the 3rd lesson said, you don't need me to teach you. He said, you've got enough energy, drive and determination to do all this on your own, so off you go. And I did. I had a book from the library which had all the notes on a guitar neck, so you put the book down, you could see where all the notes were correspond to the frets, and I knew bass was only 4 strings, not 6. And I had a book with all the Queen tracks from every album, and it had the chord changes over each bit. And I had the Complete Works Queen box set, which was all the albums up to Kind of Magic, before Kind of Magic came out. And I basically taught myself the Queen, well, most of the Queen back catalogue, using that book, those records, and this diagram of a guitar neck. And I worked out what the bass parts were, used my ears, that taught me ear training, worked out where the notes were on the neck, and that was it. And that was 1987, 1988. And I've never had a lesson since. That doesn't mean you shouldn't. Theory is a very good thing, but I've managed to have a career not really knowing a huge amount of theory. I know some, but you know, there's many a channel here on YouTube that you can watch and get all the theory and knowledge you need. And that's one way of going for it. I always say to anyone, even someone who hasn't played, might be starting, I can get you up and running as a bass player and doing gigs within a month. Easy. I can do that. Can't teach you all the theory, but I can teach you how to play, get you out there, teach you basic phrasing, riffs, figures, arpeggios, and get you up, but you have to want to do it. And that's the stumbling block for a lot of people, especially younger players now, these days. They want everything for free. They want to be able to just play like the hero straight off the bat. It's work. You've got to put in the effort. Put in the effort, you'll get the rewards. If you don't want to practice, no point. No point ever taking up an instrument if you're not going to practice. And you have to be the one that wants to do it. You have to be. You have to have that drive that, you know, I can't live without playing music, or I've got to listen to music, and then that makes you want to pick up an album and play along. Any gig horror stories? Yeah, where do you want to start? I mean, the one I rattle off most often is I did a gig 20 years ago where I had 2 basses, always take 2 basses with me on a gig, and string snap. No big deal. Took the bass off, put the next bass up, plugged it in, off we go. Start playing. We're still in the same song. And then the battery in that bass died. It was fine, and it just died. Just went, whoop, just the drop off was instant. So I was in the middle of this song, and both my basses are down, and I ended up turning to the drummer, singing guitar player, and I just said, keep playing. I'm going to drop out. Just bring it down, make it look like a dynamic. I'm going to change the battery on this bass. It took me 20 seconds because it was a flip back, Had a battery in my gig bag, bang, in, battery down, right, tune, yeah, fine, off we go. And no one knew any different. So those things can happen. Oh God, I've seen so many things over the years. I mean, I will write a book one day when I know the people that were going to feature in that book might have passed away, because then I can't get done for allegations, because I know what happened on some of those gigs. But playing with the trots, stomach upset, having had food poisoning, doing a gig, you're still out in the Far East playing, and 2 days since you recovered, and then you get hit with it in the middle of the gig. Those sort of things happen. Let's think, what else? Oh, not so long ago, about 8 years ago, I did a Depp Oasis tribute gig, and the guys parked up at the end of my lane here, so I didn't have to take a car, because parking at the venue was at a premium. They picked me up, nattering away. I parked my car at the end of the lane, so all I had to do was put my gear from the back of my car into their van. We're chatting away, we get to Putney, and I said, "Where are my basses?" He said, "Well, they ain't here, are they?" I went, "No, they're not." And to get from Putney back to Uxbridge Tube, and then to get back home, would have taken longer than the time we had between me discovering this and us going on. And I remember, actually, to this day, all of them in the band didn't give a shit. It was basically left to me, "You got to sort this." And I thought, well, who do I know that lives near Putney with a bass I can borrow? And no one readily came to mind. And I had to ring my partner up and said, "I'm really sorry. I know you're meant to be having a night in." I said, "But I need you to go and get my spare car keys and go to the end of the lane and check that my basses are in the car." And she did. She said, "Yeah, they're in the car." We're too busy talking, we hadn't realised. And she got the basses out, locked my car, and brought them to me in Putney with about 30 minutes to spare. So it all worked out okay in the end. It won't ever happen again. Now when I get picked up by bands, no chat until I'm in the van, I know everything's there. So things like that, you just got to manage the best you can. Stacey, teachers who know they can't teach the passion for something are the best ones. They know the mechanics are up to them, but the passion lies within the student and player. Yeah, I'd agree with that. You can't teach the desire to want to do it, but if you haven't got it, no amount of theory is going to make you play. But you have to want to do it. Anon, can you play Take the Power Back by Rage Against the Machine, please? I can't, because I'm not plugged in. You're not going to be able to hear it. And I don't play songs on live chats because I don't want to get copyright strikes or copyright claims. I'm sorry. For my Chris Squire loving friend that was posted up a little earlier. Do I have any fretless basses? Yes, sir. I've got a couple. I've got a Kubicki Factor, which was fretted. It's a Fender period one from '89. That's fretless. And I've got a Bass Center Jive bass, which they very kindly sent over, which I'm going to be doing a fretless series here called the Fretless Odyssey. It's coming your way. It's all scripted, just got to film it. So that will be coming shortly. I don't know. I can't put a time span on shortly because it was meant to come out 2 years ago. So I'll get around to that. There's also a Padula Buzz 4 here. So I really kind of need to get that series up and running, get those basses out to you guys so you can see it. But in 30 years of doing this professionally, and 38 as a player, I've been playing since 87. I've never once been asked to play fretless. Not once. For a session, gig, nothing. It so fell out of favour for a long period, actually, which coincides most of my career, that people don't ask for it. But I think it might be coming back. There's a certain thing I can see where people are looking for 80s bass tones. So you'll always get those people that want the Pino Palladino sort of Stingray sound and the whole Jacko jazz thing. So yeah, you never know. You never know. If I need to have it, I've got it. Ken, thanks for the gig vlogs. Pleasure. That's what they're there for. Hoping for more. Yeah, they're all. I've got that. The latest one's number 8. The most recently filmed one will be 17. So I need to get my backside in gear and get those edited and out. Would be interesting to see how you prepare for gigs and that sort of thing. I will do that. I will do that. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll show you. I'll do a video at some point of getting a gig coming and then the prep for doing that gig. And I'll show you all the ins and outs. I mean, some of it isn't that interesting to watch, you know. It's just putting in the hard graft. Sat there in front of a PC and working songs out, slowing them down, speeding them up, taking them chunk by chunk and doing that. It's the woodshedding part. People, this is the other thing, the younger brigade, younger generation don't understand that thing. They think you just pick a bass up and away you go. And it's like, no, you got to sit there and work the stuff out. Especially if it's a band you don't regularly play with. You don't know all the material straight off the bat. Got any questions? Fire away. If you got any ideas for things you would like to see on the channel, maybe you've not found a video you would like to see on YouTube amongst all the different bass channels. If there's something you haven't seen, you'd find it useful, let me know. There's Stacey, brilliant idea. Process-tastic, quite right. Usually it's not a process, you just, you know, a gig comes in, can you do it? Yes, no. What's the fee? Where is it? Who's on the gig? What's the material? Then you get the list of material and you've got to put it all together and work it out. And then you put the time in, learn the songs, make sure you get it all right. Are you doing BVs on them as well? Do you need to learn those parts? And then it's just staying on top of it until the gig comes around, and then on the day you do your magic, you know. But it isn't magic, it's just hard work. It's hard graft. Anything, you know. Footballers, sportsmen, athletes, they will always tell you, it looks like we're doing it and it comes naturally and it's very easy. Well, that's because we've put all the hard work in. The stuff that people don't see. An absolute checklist. Yeah. I mean, we had someone asking the other day on the live chat about slapping. How do you build up your slapping as a beginner? And it is just practice. It's practicing the same things over and over again. There's so much on YouTube that we didn't have when I was a kid. And one of the first pointers, anyone want to learn how to play slap bass, go and look up the slap bass program by Alexis Sklarevsky. It was a VHS video for many years, and now people have put up digitized copies of it on YouTube. All the mechanics for slapping are in there. It doesn't sound like Mark King slapping or any of that sort of thing, but there are so many different strains of slap bass. But the mechanics, the nuts and bolts, the basic chunks that you need to be able to do that technique are in that video. Once you've got that, you can take it anywhere you want. But you know, the basics are there. You love playing fretless. Have a 2 EQ Stingray, very nice, and a Fender P, very nice. Sold your Pentabuzz. That's a shame, yeah. Especially now. A, because they're worth a lot, but also, in my view, them and Walls are the best fretless basses you can buy. Have you sold any basses and wish you hadn't? Yeah, I used to own Mark King's Stingray 4-string, which actually, to my mind, is the best Stingray I've ever played. But I sold it in 2002. I had it for 5 years. I made a reasonable profit on it. At the time, level 42 weren't big news. Mark wasn't big news anymore. And a guy I used to know at A-level college had found out I had this bass and he wanted to buy it. And I thought, I didn't like the guy particularly, but he was offering me a lot of money. And I knew at the time the guy that runs the level 42 website, a guy called Morgan Roussel in France, was building a collection of Mark's old basses, and I thought, well, I'd rather he had it, frankly. And I thought I could just go and buy another Stingray and sound and play the same. They don't. Another example of take every bass on its merits. So I've never had another bass. It was an 8990 gloss neck, and I've never had another Stingray that's played like it. And but it wasn't made for Mark. It was a straight off the rack, straight off the shelf bass, and I wish I'd kept it, to be honest. It was great. But having said that, it did pay for me to change my amplification, and it gave me the money to start up my first ISA savings account. So it had its purpose. Had I kept it a little longer, I could have sold it now for probably 3 times what I sold it for, but that's the way it goes. During lockdown I sold a couple of basses just to make sure I could make ends meet, and there was a Status that I sold on, which was a great playing Status, a Series 2000 Matrix with a headstock, and a guy wanted to buy it a couple of years before, didn't hear anything more from him, and then he came back to me during lockdown, so you still got that bass? Yeah. You still want to sell it? Yeah. So I sold it. Now I should have kept hold of it for another year or two, and I'd be quids in because of the whole situation with Status going into semi-retirement. But was what it was. We were in that situation at the time, needed money. Government wasn't paying very much money to self-employed musicians, so I had to come up with money for bills and stuff. And that bass, I wasn't particularly what's the word? I wasn't clingy to it. I've got other Statuses, so, and I wanted it resprayed because it had come to me with all sorts of dings and scratches, which was fine because it was going to get used abroad on gigs and it was going to do traveling. But I wanted to have it resprayed in white, and the quotes for the respray were so high, I thought, I'm not putting that amount of money back into it. So I didn't. So there we go. Sold it on, and the guy that's got it now can decide whether he's happy for it to be as it is, or if he wants it resprayed. It's going to cost him a fair bit of money. Funky Hobbit, Mark Palmer, good to see you. Afternoon fella, just called home for lunch. Good. Found my favourite YouTube. Oh, bless you. You say all the nicest things. Chilling in the garden playing bass. Yeah. We got work being done on the house. We're having some windows replaced in the loft, so I need to make myself available to the workmen. But I was sitting in the kitchen. I thought I could come out into the garden, get some fresh air, and do a live chat. So it's all good. Elegant Men, is it plug? What's that mean? Is this video a plug for another live chat? Only for next Tuesday's live chat. So Mark, tell me, how's that 20th anniversary Alembic doing? I need to know. In fact, I'm going to send a message to Micah at Alembic and find out how many 32-inch scales they did of that, because I've got a walnut one here at 34-inch, and I will be honest, Marcus did message me before you bought that to see if I was interested, and I just said I can't spend that amount of cash at the moment. 6.5 grand is a hefty chunk of money. It would have been nice to have it to go with the walnut one, but if you ever come to sell it, let me know in advance. If I'm in a position to buy, we'll do a deal. Plain nothing else matters. Sorry, my man Sufyan, I can't do play-alongs because it's going to result in copyright claims and copyright strikes. I'm not going to lose my channel for a play-along, not on anyone's body. Maybe it's plugged in. No, it's not, sir. All acoustic. I'm out in the garden. I wouldn't want to annoy my neighbours with me clanging away playing bass. That's what you do indoors, headphones on. Blue JD. I know about the Blue JD. You mean the Mark King Blue JD? I'm aware of that situation, yeah. Or are you having a Blue JD, or is that what you want? I don't know what you mean, Mark. Put some meat on the bones. Ah, we are talking about the same thing. Yeah. Elegant man, you should connect it to the electricity. I know. But again, I'd get people saying, play this song, play that song, and I don't want to do that. Stuart Milne, how do you deal with egos in a band? Shoot everyone. No, I'm joking. I don't know. It depends whether you're in that band regularly. And is it a band that you're earning a lot of money from? In which case the options are put up or leave. You can't change people, I know that. You find a way of working with egos, so you either tolerate it or you don't. And if it's a band you're depping in, you haven't got to worry about it. You've only got to put up with it for the gig and you're away again. And then when they ask you to come back, it's your choice whether you want to do it again or not. If you're in a band regularly and someone's ego is seriously out of whack and they're not conducive to the band working well, then a conversation has to be had. But at the end of the day, only you are responsible for your happiness and whether you want to be in that band and around that ego. And if you don't, you've got to say, I'm sorry, I can't handle this, and move on. But don't hang around and make it horrible for everyone else. But that would be my take on that. Stuart Milne, there's a good one. Yeah. Sufyan, love the way you talk. You have a thank you. Positive everything, the way you talk, everything. How are you doing this? Can you give me advice? I've just got years on the clock, mate. I'm 53 and I've been a professional musician for 30 years. I've been playing for 38. So I've seen a lot. I've played a lot. I've done 4,500 gigs. I wrote for 2 bass magazines over 18 years. I don't get fazed by the things that have fazed me in the past in my career don't really faze me anymore because I've seen most of the things that can happen. I've worked with famous people. I've worked with non-famous people. Actually, some of the non-famous people are the biggest pains in the ass. Usually famous people are easy. They just want an easy life, do the job, turn up, play and go, and you'll get paid and everything's good. It's the people that have massive egos that are totally out of whack with actually what they're doing that cause the most grief. But you know, over time you acquire the tools to deal with these situations. So be positive. You know, sometimes you have to work with people. It's very hard to be positive around them, but you just got to sometimes make things work. You know, I'm not going to call you Funky Hobbit. Mark, come on. 20th is a superb instrument. Excellent. Moved the combustion Dingwall, very good, and the Rio, okay. Added a little cash, nice. Bringing it down to Nick's celebration, good. We're going to be there. Jamie Millard booked his flight yesterday, so he'll be there too. You are welcome to have a look and assess. I will. Got a very nice Fender FSR 70s precision here. It's a belter. I love it. It's very different to all my other precisions, but very guttural. The ash body, you know, and the pickup. Yo, is that a Fender jazz bass? No, it's a Fender FSR 70s precision. Love from Turkey. Hello, Turkey. I haven't played in Turkey. I've never played in Turkey. I played in Cyprus. I've done other Middle Eastern locations, but I've never played in Turkey. Waiting for the invite. But this is a cracker. It weighs a ton, but it plays great. Actually, it needs a bit of a setup, if I'm honest. A little tweak on the truss rod, maybe some new strings. But I use it. This is the backup for the Queen tributes when I do that. That scratch plate is the beans. It was meant to be black. And the guy that I bought it from swapped it over. He had one of these just lying around. It's got 2 holes for a tug bar, but I don't have those on my basses. So it's great. Just fits in great. Works really well. Definitely Kurt Cobain, come together. No, I don't do play-alongs, sir. Thank you for asking, though. Don't do play-alongs because I don't want copyright claims or copyright strikes. But please give the video a thumbs up. It's the best thing you can do for me, the channel, the video, all the videos here on Brooks's Bass Corner. If you can give us a thumbs up, it'd be very much appreciated. Helps with the YouTube algorithm. It sees that people are enjoying the video and then it pumps the chat out to more people watch, we get more bass players into the channel, we can share more information and knowledge. So what's next on the shopping list, Mark? Or is it what pops up as and when? What strings you putting on that, Mark, on the 20th anniversary? The Alembic Series 2 next door. Yeah, go. A guy commissioned the bass. It came into the country along with an almost identical Series 2. The other aforementioned Series 2 featuring guitarist mag. Okay. Ooh. I think I've got a protruding fret. It's not a medical condition, I promise. On the D string and the A. There it is. 16th fret. It's going on the workbench. There she is. Frets need good clean as well. It's going to get it. The problem I had was that with both truss rods loose, 4500 and 5s fitted, the neck had back bow. Shouldn't have that, should it? That's crazy. I remember you and Mark Littler having Alembics ordered and made and just complaining when they came that they just weren't what you'd hoped they were. I mean, look, that's 20 odd years ago. 20 plus. But I remember all of that. And it's such a shame because for all of us that was like the holy grail, Series 2 Alembics. And you think, how did it leave the mothership with those issues? Because they're meticulous. But any bass can change in travel, in transit. I've been quite lucky actually. Well, both of mine, the necks are pretty good. I do keep on top of them though. I mean, I adjust the truss rods every 6 months on those, so. The nut height and bridge was so high, it was no fun to play. That's going to kill it for you. Dave Wilson dress relief into the frets was not ideal. No, not when you've invested that sort of money into something. It's prestige, isn't it? It's a bit like getting a Rolls Royce and they haven't put the wheels on. But mad. I'm surprised though. Surprised they let those things out of the factory, out of the workshop. So. Ah, right, it's the same bass. Got it. That makes sense. Funny you should say about the Queen tribute. There's a Queen act on the Friday of the Sevens. Yes, it's Supersonic Queen, who I dealt with a couple of weeks back. We had hoped we were on the same show, but apparently there's one show on the Saturday and one show on the Friday, and we're on the Saturday. They're on the Friday. I think we're headline. I think. And they're, well, we're on 8 till 9:30 on our show, and I'm guessing they're on the same. So there may be another act after us. Maybe there is. I don't know. But Supersonic Queen, check them out. Lovely guys, lovely chaps. Mark, the new owner sent it to the mothership where all issues were sorted. There you go. But again, it's getting it in California on shipping and paying. Fine if you're in the US, you just take a holiday to the coast for a week. But yeah, the anniversary running 4000 Labella Super Steps. Okay. Yeah, I've got 4000s on both of mine. So Matt, you're there for both nights. Excellent. Enjoy. Say hello if you get a chance to speak to Phil and the lads at the Queen Band. The next setup is perfect. There's something about those 20ths. I don't hear many people complain about the 20th anniversary Alembics. They got the woods right for those. They really did. Mine, fine. Literally a quarter turn on either truss rod every 6 months. It's fine. And actually the necks on those 20th anniversaries are really nice, like old school Alembics. The signatures are a chunkier affair, but the anniversaries are like super slinky, really kind of quite slim. You got to go, Matt. No worries. Take it easy. Is it that late? I can't even see what the time is. I haven't got my watch on. What is the time? Oh, 10 to 3. Yeah, it's that time, isn't it? Back to you, back to work. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Cheers, man. Best regards to you and all your subscribers. Thank you, Mark. See you live chat on Tuesday, perhaps. 8 o'clock. They're all Tuesday 8 o'clock ones now, apart from when we do the impromptu ones. Stacey, have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care till Tuesday. We've been on here for nearly an hour and a quarter. I'll drop off shortly. Go and spot a lunch. Still waiting for the men to finish the windows up on the roof. In the loft. But they've got to do it from the roof. So if you've got any questions, bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, great bass players, musical advice, career advice, sound like a teacher, fire away if I can help. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, that's a raised fret 16th. Stacey, sun's cooperating a bit better now. It's good, isn't it? Doing very good today. Nice clear sky. There you can have a full look at the garden. There you go. Little shelter there, little gazebo for the dogs. And then we have that side too. It's all good. Load of bass cases over my shoulder. Actually, that case can tell a few stories. That's my Kabiki case. And I've basically put on there every sticker, pass, laminate, you name it. Between that and one of my acoustic bass cases, it's got all my laminates and stuff all on it. So, and the patches, used to get sticker fabric patches, and they're all on there. It's done the travels, that one. Are there a ton of INXS tributes over your way? No, I think there's a few. There used to be one in the late 90s, early 2000s, after Michael Hutchins died. And I know of a couple of bass players who did tributes in America. But there hasn't been, or there hadn't been one over here for a while, because it's a bit like Duran Duran tributes. People want to see the real thing do it, and it's a bit hard to see the original INXS. But they seem to have made a comeback. Not INXS, but the INXS tributes. And I've started seeing more and more bands doing it. Or you have bands who have 4 or 5 different tributes in their stable, and they can go out as any one of those tributes. So they might do INXS, Duran Duran, Spandau Ballet, Queen, and pick some Bon Jovi. So they can be picked for any. But the problem they've got then is, if that's the regular band, regular lineup, you can only do one of them on an evening. And certainly during the summer, you start having lots of festivals and stuff. You can't be in 2 places at one time, so it makes things a little tricky. But there is a couple. There's certainly a couple over here in the UK. I don't know how popular they are. I don't know how much work they get. Because to be fair, a lot of people will only know maybe 4, 5 INXS songs, unless they're fans. So it's like with any tribute, apart from the 4 or 5 big songs, people don't really know, and they tend to drift off or don't bother buying tickets. So what's that message that's been held for review? Who's that? The one and only Nicole. Ha! I'm not, funnily enough. You're saying that because I've got an earring. Got to remember, this is on a flip. I'm on selfie camera. It's in my left ear. Dopey. Lots of picking and choosing who they take out for festivals. Well, it's hard, you know. On a really good day, you can do 3 gigs on a Saturday. You can do an afternoon festival, late afternoon, early evening gig, and then maybe an extra thing in the evening. But you can, you know, it's transportation, isn't it? So if one place wants you to do Queen, one wants you to do INXS, one wants you to do Bon Jovi, you got to make sure all 3 of those slots are transportable. Can you get from one to the other to the other? But if they're all evening gigs, well, you're a bit scuppered, really, because you can't do all 3. Let me just check all the messages are popping in. I like this time of day. This works for me because we don't get bombarded by idiots screaming, shouting and swearing. It's good. Which is what we normally get on the impromptu live chats. Logistical nightmare, exactly that. Because the money's on the table, the money's there to be had, but you can't get it if you can't do the gigs. It's not 1985. Earrings can be in whatever ear. Icing gay. Oh, okay. Well, please take yourself off my channel. Bye. And like that, she was gone. Now you can just type messages and only you're going to see them. I can assure you I'm not. You can sit in your bedroom and shout profanities at yourself. That is how it's done, Stacey Ann. And like that, she disappeared. Oh, I'm getting my fingers ready for the weekend, get the calluses up to speed. Coming up 3 o'clock in the UK. I'm just frimmicking there. Anyone got any questions? Any bass related questions? Music related questions? Gear questions? Any bass related issues I can help anyone with? You can see we've got 13 people. You're out there. Still hear the window men hammering away. At least they've got good weather for it, hey. Who's on roll call? I don't know. I can see people. I can from the YouTube app. I can see there's 15 people, but I don't know who it is. Any regulars? Shout out. Let's know you're there. If you've just come on, please give the video a thumbs up. Really helps the video, helps the channel, helps me, helps the channel, helps the algorithm realize who it needs to push the videos out to. So thumbs ups are the best thing you can do. Thank you, whoever just thumbed up. Very good. Please comment on the video, leave comments. I don't necessarily mean in the live chat, but leave a comment in the comment section, especially if you're watching this after the event. Comments, thumbs ups, shares. 3 best things you can do for any video here on YouTube. Stuart, did COVID ruin the live gigging scene for bands? Yes. Yes, it did. Completely ruined it for most musicians. I noticed it after about 6 weeks. My playing was down in terms of quality. I was practicing at home and just thought, God, I haven't picked up a bass for a few weeks. I'd done 24 years of solid gigging, and my calluses went. But I don't think certainly London hasn't recovered from COVID in terms of gigs. I think the UK hasn't really recovered in terms of gigs. I can't speak for other territories, other countries, continents, but Brexit didn't help. Brexit's been a complete kick in the balls. And then double that up with COVID, and now all the things that are going on in the world, it's not an easy time. I tell you, I'm glad I had the first 24 years of my career that I did, because a lot of venues just don't exist anymore. Ryan, is that you? If you were starting RR recording, that's my sound man from Uncle Funk. Ryan, say hello. He's obviously on dinner break, or he's having a slow afternoon. You all right, mate? See you on Saturday. It is. Hello, boy. Were you starting brand new to bass in 2025? What would be your bass of choice? Let me go back to that. Say hello to Ryan, Stacey. Ryan meet Stacey. Stacey meet Ryan. And while I do stuff... Oh, sorry. I've gone too far there. What would you go, amp or pedal board or no amp? Bass is easy. If I was on a restricted budget, because that's always the determining factor, I would really consider getting a Betsy. I just think it's a great jazz clone, great pickups, great sounding bass, reasonably priced, great value for money. If I had over £1,000, I'd probably look at a Yamaha secondhand. I'd always buy secondhand. Secondhand Stingray. Wish I bought a Stingray straight off the bat. I should have just saved my paper round money and got a Stingray, because back in '88 I could have got a second-hand Stingray for about 500 quid. Having said that, the 4-string Stingray I got for 600, so I can't complain. But a Stingray would have got me motoring in my playing, I think, a lot quicker. Would I go amp or pedal board? Well, the thing is, see, we're very lucky in Uncle Funk because we've got the rack and the in-ears and everything else. I still do Queen gigs. I have to take backline. And although the IEM thing has become more affordable and available to people, there are still pub gigs you would need to take a bass amp to. You can't always guarantee that if you went pedal board and IEMs or monitors, that's going to be enough. Sometimes you don't run through a PA. For many years in my old covers band, bass didn't go through the PA if we were doing pub gigs. It would just be vocals and backing track and a bit of bass drum, and that would be it. Everything else had to go via amplification. So, you know, for a reasonably priced bass, a Betsy or a Sire will get you up and running. You need an amp for doing some gigs, but if you get a good sounding amp with a good XLR DI on it, and maybe a small pedal board, you know, if you go for a good amp, you can use that instead of the tone hammer that I use on my DI as my DI on the pedal board. You could use a Trace Elf or a Class D amp as your preamp, and then still have your pedals and stuff. So the thing is, there's never been more gear. There's never been more affordable gear. So you know, the options are there that we didn't have 20, 30, 40 years ago. So but budget defines everything, so depending on what your budget is will determine what you buy, really. DL42, good to see you again. Nice to catch you on live, thank you. I'm here, mate, just listening while I do stuff on the PC. Very good. Always thumbs up as soon as I arrive. You're a good man, bless you. Stacy saying hello to people. Stew Mill, I just see more venues opting for an acoustic guitarist singer rather than 4 or 5-piece bands. That's because a lot of venues, certainly here in the UK, are under noise restrictions by the local councils. So if you play in a pub, club or a venue very near residential housing, or there might be flats and apartments above the venue, invariably that venue has to stick to a noise restriction. They might have a noise limiter in force. And it's just ruined everything. And the thing is now, a lot of pubs and clubs, if they have a band, you've got to have an electric drum kit, and everything runs into a mixer, usually that the band provides, and then the feed out of that goes into the house system. Sometimes the venue is so attuned to it, you just plug straight into their mixer and you're straight into their system. But you see, it's easier to manage noise levels of an acoustic guitarist singer than it is a band with live drums. So that's the deal. I didn't have all this 10, 20 years ago, although 10 years ago this was starting to become more and more of a thing for wedding bands at wedding venues. This was coming in, you had to stick to like 80 dB limiter. You can't walk across a hard floor in a wedding venue and not trigger an 80 dB sound limiter. There was one place I played with my old covers band, and they had their own huge PA system in, and you had to go into their system, and literally there were nails across the faders, so you couldn't go above that point, and they had a guy would come in and check that nothing had been tampered with. And I remember we did the gig, and the bride was in absolute tears because she couldn't hear the band. She said, I came to see you play your gig at the Roadhouse, and you were amazing. You had the audience in the palm of your hand. You sounded great. And here you are at my wedding, and I cannot hear a note. And I had to say to her, if you had told me this was what this venue offered in terms of live sound, I would have told you don't book the venue, but you didn't ask me. You went ahead and booked the venue. She said, well, they told us they could have bands. I said, yeah, but they didn't tell you they were running an 80 dB limiter. And now we're in this situation, and we're here and we're doing what we do, but you can't hear us. And I had that actually with quite a few brides and grooms who book venues before they book the band. If you get the band booked, tell them then the venues you're looking at, the bands invariably will go and take a look at the venue or find out online what their live music accommodation is, and they can come back and tell you, we can't play that venue, that's not going to work. or that one is great, that's where we can play. But people don't think about it, you know. You're always busy, Ryan. I know. Does a blinding job, I have to say. Stacey, pleasure to meet you. Love your work, man. See, she's heard all the recordings of gigs and stuff. Request betrayer. I don't know what you mean. Oh, in terms of not playing requests, don't play requests. Don't want copyright strikes. Don't want copyright claims. DL42, hope you're good as always. Absolutely. We've got another one of those. Hey Stacey, thanks. Great to meet you over YouTube. There we go. Doing fine. Hope you're sailing smoothly. We're all good. I can't read your message. Don't write in Cyrillic. I can't read Russian, even though I spent a month in Moscow. Ryan, got to run. Mate, I'll see you Saturday. Take it easy. We'll have a blast, as always. Mike, for someone just starting, which type of guitar do you suggest? Acoustic or electric? Depends what you want to do. An acoustic will be easier to play. Sorry, an electric will be easier to play. An acoustic will maybe give you better technique, but they're basically the same thing. Basically, you've got to learn chords, you've got to learn arrangement, you've got to learn theory, you've got to know how the notes all combine with each other. So it doesn't really matter. You can do either or. But if you start an acoustic, it's going to be a more physical instrument for you to learn how to play, which will then stand you in very good stead when you come to learn electric. But either or, you're playing 6 strings and you've got to learn the chords and where the notes are. So, mate, take either or and just go for it and report back in 6 months and see how you're going. Chord flow, what song in bass you like to play? Oh, many. Another one bites the dust. We did this the other day. Or the song that was built off Good Times. You want a bit of Good Times? I'll give you a bit of Good Times. Let's see if I can sit sideways on. You can see it. There we go. Before I get hit with copyright strikes and claims. Bust out some sheet. Yeah, I did. Yeah, all of that. Right, it is. What time is it? Coming up 3:20, I think. Goodness, the day's flying by, isn't it? Weekend's nearly here. Thank you, Chord Flow. Both of those are classics. All 3 of those are classics, in fact. Stacey, your favourite part? What the solo? All the little variations that Bernard tossed in, absolutely. He could lock in a damn groove just a bit. That's why everyone wanted him. Yeah. I've got big old 4505 rotor sounds on this, so that's that dodgy fret right there. Choking the notes. I'll sort it. And as a producer, handcrafted so many sounds quite. Oh, dogs are kicking off. I'm out here, hounds. Someone's rattled Ollie's cage. Old Bolt, I'm out here. Hey, speaking of strings, what was Billy talking about on yesterday's short? Stretching knee string. I was using a hip shot. So when you fire the hip shot on, you're down to a low D. In order to bring the string back up to pitch, when you flip it back from D to E, you pull the string. It's a bit hard during the gig because your note might be ringing. And he's saying pull it and then flip it back up. So if you're using it in a song, wait till you get to the end of the song and do that. So basically, hold the string, then flip the hip shot, and as it goes back in, it's in tune. Apparently, if you don't, it ends up being slightly sharp. So that's what he's talking about on that short. Stretching the G string, that's a different thing entirely, and not for this channel. It's all right. Most people, when they use a hip shot extender, they'll just flip it back and then wonder why they're out of tune. So, as he said, holding the string away from the neck and putting it back in, you would think it would be flat. It doesn't. It comes back in tune. Ah. Right, I think it's time for some lunch. Thank you very much. All the questions, all the chat, all the likes. Thank you very much appreciated. I'm going to head inside for a fry to a frazzle. I'm going to get some lunch. Might see you over the weekend on an impromptu live chat. These just happen. There's no schedule for these. The scheduled live chats are Tuesdays, 8 p.m. UK time here in the UK. So hopefully, the fine gentlemen replacing our loft windows are going to be done soon. We can get all this stuff back in. I can get on with some video editing. How about that? On that note, love you and leave you. Have a great Thursday, wherever you are on the planet. Take care. Enjoy your bass playing. I'll catch you anon, but I'll see you on Tuesday. Take it easy.